All right. Yeah, 1 second, everybody. Me and Justin Lee Howell is about to go live real quick. We're going live on another platform as well. All right, so hey, all right, so welcome back to my YouTube channel, Uplift past Crossroads, or you're probably watching the play. No, you're watching live on Justin's YouTube channel as well, Chaplain's Log. So welcome to our number 100 video.
Dude,
Number 100. This is number 100. Like,
we made it.
right,
Started at the bottom, now we're here.
right, and that's what's crazy. Just like, guys, if you're interested, you want to see all 100 of me and Justin's videos. We have done 100 videos together on social media, on our YouTube platforms, right? And so if you go to my YouTube channel, Uplift past Crossroads, right? I have so many playlists, and it's just for you. Like, I'm trying to get you where you want to go so you can learn what you want to learn and grow how you want to grow, learn the Bible. So me and Justin have done videos together on the book of Proverbs. Not every single verse in the book of Proverbs. We've done videos together on Revelations, you know, the book of Revelations, not all of it yet, but we have done all of Revelations 21 and all of Revelations 22. So those are some playlists on my YouTube channel over past Crossroads. But then if you scroll down, you'll see a section called Our Podcast, and you'll see Justin's playlist right here. And so we have done 99 videos together, but this is video 100, right? And so we do a lot of different videos. And so for today's video, we got a treat for you, right? So like I was trying to tell Justin, have you guys been seeing on social media that there's some people who read like scripture verses while they're on social media? Like they just read the scripture, like a scripture verse is showing, the Bible showing, and they just read the verse out loud with some like Christian melody playing, some Christian holy music playing. Have you seen that at all?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
Okay, so that's what people do on TikTok. There's a TikToker that does that, and like, oh, so it's a good number of them actually. And so she was reading Ecclesiastes chapter 12, right? And which is the verses we're going to cover today. It's Ecclesiastes 12 verses 1 through 4. I'm really focusing on just verse 1 and 4, but maybe Justin, you'll have something to say with verse 2 and 3. But she read Ecclesiastes 12 verses like 1 through 8 or something. Like she just read that whole section, and it was so profound when she read it. Like she was reading from the, I think she was reading from the New Living Translation Bible. So Ecclesiastes 12 verses 1 through 8, or 1 through 9, something like that. And when she was reading it, man, it was so profound. I was like, oh my gosh, like it's like she was preaching. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a video on that. So, and then here goes my video lagging, but whatever, I don't care. All right,
That's pretty cool though, because we mentioned before, like the Bible is a living source, so it does affect people in different ways. But yeah, definitely, I do like the short clips of people reading it out loud. Sometimes it makes it just feel a little more alive.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and read the verse out loud like they do, but then we're gonna break this verse down like crazy. They don't really break it down like that. So, all right, so I'm gonna just read from this app called the Bible Gateway online, right?
Oh yeah, that's season 2.
All right, yeah. You said you're reading from that too?
Yeah.
All right, and it's probably too little, so let me make it a little bigger so y'all can see it. Oh yeah, that's really good. Because you guys are blind on the screen, so I want you guys to make sure y'all see what y'all reading. I'm just kidding. The font's too little. All right, so this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verses 1 through 4, right? All right, so this is what it says. It says, don't let the excitement of youth cause you to forget your creator. Honor him in your youth before you grow old and say, life is not pleasant anymore. I want you guys to remember that part, right? All right, so remember him before the light of the sun, moon, and stars is dim to your old eyes. Oh my goodness. And rain clouds continually darken your sky. Remember him before your legs, the guards of your house start to tremble. And before your shoulders, the strong men stoop. Remember him before your teeth, your remaining servants stop grinding. And before your eyes, the women looking through the windows see dimly. Remember him before the door to life's opportunity is closed and the sound of work fades. Now you rise at the first chirping of the birds, but then all their sounds will grow faint. Yeah, that verse is powerful, man. That whole passage. So like I said, you guys, I know you felt it, right? So when I first read it, I felt the same thing. Like I was like the first thing I saw. So I'm gonna ask everybody a question. What's the first thing you see with Ecclesiastes chapter 12? Like, what stands out to you the most? What touches you the most, right? So, Justin, you want to go ahead or you want me to go?
Yeah, I can go.
Okay.
I like the so just for context, and I mentioned this to Sean before. I really like the book of Ecclesiastes because it's like the book of Proverbs always has like a bunch of wisdom, and it's like very applicable for your life. But like Ecclesiastes is also a book of wisdom, but it's from the perspective of a guy who's just like suffered like a long life. Like he's tried a little bit everything. He's received blessings from God. He's received like hardships of the world. So what hits me a lot from like this passage is like in verse 1, it just says like remember your creator. Like the very first sentence, that just hits me hard. It's like remember your creator. And for the first we're in chapter 12 now. For the first 11 chapters, Solomon, or they believe it's King Solomon who wrote this, is just saying like what's the point of all these things in life? It's and the Hebrew word is like hefel. The best translate and like translations will say like vanity or like other what were some other things? It's like vanity or like things that don't last in life. Basically, a better translation though, and it doesn't translate well, is like smoke from a blown out candle. It's like hefel. It's just like it's no longer there. It's the shadow of what once was there. So this guy's been talking about like how meaningless. Meaningless is like another popular translation of of hefel. But it's like after he's found like so much is like meaningless in life, his his final his final word is to say remember God, remember like your creator. I think that's powerful because he's basically trying, this is like a warning to the youth, or warning, he's trying to use the wisdom he's built up for people who are still young, and he's warning people against the temptations of youth, of like diving in and finding satisfaction from what the world has to offer. But he found that like eventually you're going to look back on those years and say, well, that didn't bring me any fulfillment at all. Or as he said, I find no pleasure in them. So like what hits me the biggest part is like after all this, he says, remember God. And like I won't I'll stop there, but like it basically makes me think that God is the only thing that's able to give him satisfaction or fulfillment or purpose or drive in this world.
Yeah. Now I was gonna let you keep talking because you know my video sucked, but yeah, I got a lot to say on this one. Yeah, let me pull up the verse again so I stay on track.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully you guys can see it. I don't want to make it any bigger because I don't want my screen to lag any more than what it is, my video to lag any more than what it's doing. But Ecclesiastes 12 verse 1 says, "Don't let the excitement of youth." I'm gonna stop there. The excitement of youth, man. See, all of us are distracted by our youth because we think we're gonna live forever. And you guys remember, so like me and Justin are in our 30s now, and
Mm-hmm.
so but when we were in our 20s and in high school, man, we just thought we knew everything. We thought we had life figured out. We thought like, I mean, we were humble too, but we knew we didn't have life figured out, and we thought like, our parents are our parents, they don't know what life is like we know what life is, like we thought they were behind the 8 ball or something, and we had the cheat code of life, right? And so the excitement of youth, man, like it's really hard as a youth. Like youth is just filled with a time of like pride because you feel like you're indestructible in so many ways. Like you feel
Yeah.
like you have, like I said, you have all the answers of life. You feel like you're 10 feet tall and bulletproof. Like you feel like you're healthy, so you can like do things. You don't need to go to the doctor and stuff like that. Honestly, I haven't been to a doctor in a while. So like, yeah, so you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I'm holding off on it. I just don't want, I know I'm getting old, so I don't want him to tell me how old my body is getting.
Right. Yeah. So like with youth, like, man, the excitement of youth. Like what else is exciting about youth, man? The pleasures. Like honestly, like everybody, I have to think about this a lot, Justin. Like I did, I don't think about it anymore. But like in my 20s, a lot. Like especially when I was a virgin. But like when you're young, your body's at its best. At least it should be, right? So
Mm,
that means like if you're sexually active, that's the time to be sexually active because like you're more confident with your body and the way you look. So like you could be naked
mm,
with anybody, you know what I'm saying? So like the excitement of youth, just from that, like your pleasures, right? Your sexual pleasures, your sexual drive, like the thrill of the chase or getting chased after, like for a woman. So like, yeah, man, those excitements, making more money grinding. Like, I mean, in your youth again, the excitement of youth, like getting more money, like me and Justin are on that level now. Like we're
mm,
investing, we're working, like we're trying to make multiple streams of income because in order to be a millionaire, you need at least several streams of income coming in. You can't just work one job. That's why most people aren't millionaires because they don't work multiple jobs. So that's the excitement of youth again. So while you're young, this is what all millionaires recommend. When you're young, you need to be working harder than ever before, grinding because you're not going to have that same drive, the same strength, the same uh, testosterone that you have now in your youth while you're young to do it. You think you're going to be able to work like you could have worked back in your 20s when you're 80? No, you can't. Like you don't have that same
uh,
strength, power, all those things, drive, energy. You're old. Like so, like you take advantage of your youth. So, like that's what this verse is talking about as well. So don't let the excitement of youth. See, there's a lot of excitement. See what I'm saying? So really, everything I just said is focusing on you, right? And that's how people. This verse is so powerful. Oh man, this verse is so powerful. So many people are focused on themselves. That's what this verse is talking about. Don't let
mm,
the excitement of you. See, most people who are young, they think about themselves. They only think about themselves. They only think about what they want. They only chase after what they want. They don't chase after what's best for their family. They
mm,
don't chase after what's best for their wife, their spouse, their husband. You know what I'm saying? They don't chase after what's best for their kids. How many deadbeat dads are there? How many people
amen.
who have children at a young age because you made a mistake and then you don't ever pay attention to the child? Like that's mind blowing to me. Like you don't never father them, you don't never mother them. Like you just give them up. Like
Mm,
the excitement of youth. Why? Because the excitement of youth. That's why. That's what this verse is talking about. It's so many ways that this verse, so many things that this verse is talking about. Like it says, don't let the excitement of youth. What does the excitement of youth do? Make you forget your creator? That's literally what the excitement of youth does. It causes us. It causes you, right? It don't cost nobody else. It causes you to forget your creator.
mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. Just I know you got something after that, man. Like, unless you want me to keep going.
No, yeah, I think it's and honestly, what you were saying makes me think of like is like a small clip from like God's Not Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And like through, and I know I've said this in a video before, but like one of the characters through a quick moment of clarity is saying like sometimes the devil puts us in a golden or gilded cage, and like we don't like he surrounds us with things that we just enjoy or temptations that we can't resist, and because we're like so comfortable in it, like we don't even think about escaping. And man, sometimes that can be youth as well. Like sometimes we are so distracted by what the world has to offer or our ability to like grab onto these things that we don't realize that uh, they're so transient, they're so short-lived.
Mm.
Like Solomon, who's grown like Solomon, he's probably reached old age even faster because he indulged in some of these things. He did not like honor his body, he didn't honor God. So I'm sure like his youth was even faster than it would have been if he had respected God.
Mm-hmm.
But we do like that is a very scary temptation, honestly, because we don't notice when we slip into it. Like the promises of this world are very scary because it makes it seem like we're happy for a while, but when you get older, like Solomon is saying, like these things are not the things that are going to bring us happiness. Yeah, they're fun. I don't want to be like, don't have fun, or like, oh, the people who are sinning, they're not having fun. I know they're having fun. Like, I'm not gonna kid myself, and it's okay to have fun. The danger, I think, is like finding your purpose or finding a what was the what was the like it? Oh, what was the Soul movie saying? Like your passions or
Yeah,
your drives. It's like people can have more than one purpose, but like you don't want to like hone in your purpose in life on these things that are so temporary. I think that's what Solomon is warning us against.
right. Yeah, we got to focus on what really matters in life, like,
Hmm.
and that, and honestly, that differs for everybody. Like,
Yeah.
but not really, because this text is talking about what your main focus should be is to honor God, right? So I'm
Yeah.
going to spoil that part. So our main focus should be to honor God. That's not debatable. That's for everybody. That's First Corinthians 10:31. In whatever things you do, whether you eat, sleep, or drink, give glory and honor to God. That's for everybody,
Mm.
right? But even Paul talks about it with the book of Corinthians with me and Justin. We did Bible studies on First Corinthians, by the way. So check that out on my YouTube channel, Uplift past Crossroads. But yeah, with First Corinthians, Paul was talking about how you could do a lot of things in life. Like everything is of God. Everything comes from God, right? So you could do anything in life, but not
Mm.
everything's beneficial. Not everything
Yeah.
edifies. Not everything is really good to do, right? And then indulging too much in one specific thing is catastrophic and can
Mm.
leap over and ruin everything else, right?
Yeah.
For example, Steve Jobs is a perfect example. See, it's a price when it comes to be successful, and Steve Jobs' life is a testimony of that. If you do research on Steve Jobs, the founder. Well, he ain't the founder of Apple, I don't think, but like he
Oh,
helped Apple to get it to where it got to make it
yeah.
like a household name and stuff like that. You guys know Steve Jobs, and even like with Pixar, he got Pixar to where it is. He started. He
Oh,
didn't.
did.
Yeah, he didn't really start 3D animation, but he was like he brought it to the level that it is now, right?
Mm.
And without him, it would never got to that level. Especially Toy Story. He put his hands on the first Toy Story movie, so that's how
Oh,
you know, like where 3D animation came from, right? But like with Steve Jobs in his book, he said his biggest regret in life is just not spending as much time with his children and his
mm.
family as he should have, but mainly his children, right? So his children, like everybody else, we praise Steve Jobs, man. Steve Jobs successful, man.
Mm.
But like the people who knew him, man, he was mean, man. He was ruthless, man. He only cared about him. He didn't care about himself. He just cared about his businesses,
Mm.
right? So he forsake everything else just for the betterment of his businesses, just for the success of his businesses. Nothing's wrong with focusing on your business, but is your business more important than your family, than your children, than your wife, right? And I think he went through the divorces and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't feel like looking it up. You got to look it up.
Yeah. I actually don't know too much about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he got to the point too where he pretty much like sacrificed his life, like literally. He
Yeah.
passed away because he wouldn't take the time to take care of himself as well.
Right. And that's the whole point. This is what this verse is talking about. Like, don't let the excitement of youth, man. There's a lot of things to be excited about in this life. There's a lot of things to be, pouring into in this life. But just like Paul said in the book of First Corinthians, everything is great, everything's groovy,
Mm.
everything's good to do. But is it the best thing to do? Is it what you should be doing right now? And that goes with me and Justin right now. Like I know it's the same thing for Justin as it is for me. Like, but I've been thinking about that a lot lately, Justin. Just how right now I'm grinding, so I'm trying to get
Mm.
my ordination to be a preacher in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Then eventually I want to be a mega pastor, right, and be preaching in both churches. So trying to be
Yeah.
a preacher, right. Then I'm trying to get my seminary degree, and so I'm trying to get my master's of doctoral, right. I mean, master's of divinity. Then I'm going to go ahead and get my doctoral, so I can have degrees, so I can be able to preach anywhere, and any church will want me, right. So
Mm.
just from that standpoint alone, I'm grinding, right? And I'm grinding so much that honestly, like when I lived at home with my parents, I just moved out from my parents' house, and I married my wife now, my fiance, my wife. And so, but
Became
before,
yeah.
yeah, like a month ago, right? Like, yeah, not even a month ago, guys. Like I was at my parents' house and like they'll tell me to do stuff, but they know not to like ask me certain things at a certain time because they know like I'm live on YouTube, right? I'm live on social media. Like these are my ministries. So don't interrupt me when I'm going live, like just to get the groceries or something. Like, like they like my mom, she used to always do that. Like my dad too. And they got to the point to where they're like they scared to ask or they don't ask because they know like I'm doing something at this point. Like I'm a grown man. Like don't treat me like a child. Like But it's not too much, to help my mom when she needs help, or like, my siblings even like I step on their toes a little bit when they ask me for help or something like, oh, like, I grump and complain when I could just help them, right? But again, that's the text. Don't let the excitement of youth cause you to forget your creator, right?
Mm.
Don't let the excitement of you cause you to forget your wife, your family, your mother, your children. That's just from one standpoint. Like, let's talk about investing. Don't let the excitement of getting money cause you to lose what you have,
Yeah.
right? To pay the bills. You got bills to pay. You got children you got to feed. You got children. You got a debt you got to get out of first. You know what I mean? Before you can, like, you got an emergency fund you got to build. There's so much stuff you got to do, right? You can't just focus on one thing. And that's literally what I'm learning in the ministry. Like, with trying to be a pastor and a minister and stuff like that. Like, you have to really master managing time. You have to master, because so many things are going to pull you from left to right. So many things are vying for your time and needs your energy. Like, just this week coming up, I have a sermon I got to get ready for on Saturday in front of all preachers. I got to preach in front of all preachers, right? And I got to get critique from that. Then I got two final papers I got to write. That's like 12 pages each. So 24 pages each. Final, papers for my two seminary classes that I'm in. Then I got work. I work third shift Monday to Thursday. Like, I don't get sleep during that time period, obviously, right? So like, I just got a lot of stuff going on, right? So the excitement of youth, like, you can do anything. You got so many things on your plate. You got so many things that you can do because you're young, right? But don't let that forget, what's most important, what God really wants you to do. Because at the end of your life, God's going to ask you, and you're going to be judged by what you did.
Mm.
And did you listen to him? Did you do what was most important? That's the question. Are you doing what's most important, or are you doing what's pleasant to you? What's
Mm.
pleasing to you? Are you living for yourself, or are you living for God? And there's no gray area. You can say all you want if you're living for God, but if God don't think you're living for God, that's all that matters. So yeah, I got so much to say with that, Justin. Did you have anything else?
Yeah. I'm trying to think because I've actually I don't have anything prepared for this, so I'm just gonna go on the fly. But I've been thinking lately about like ambition as well,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like what you were saying just made me think about it. And it's like I feel like ambition in itself is not necessarily bad, um, but it can easily be mutilated in a very terrible way. Like just look at I'll use the Harry Potter example because my nieces are into Harry Potter right now. Like
Okay.
for Slytherin, like my nieces asked like, why don't you just throw all the people who get into Slytherin into jail because they all are pretty much evil. But like one of their qualities is like ambition, and you make it it sounds like ambition is evil.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily evil, like it can be used to good, but the fact of the matter is it's very easy to fall into temptations or fall down to get lost in your own ambition. That's why it's so easy to like make villains of stories like super ambitious. Not because ambition is necessarily an evil trait or an evil virtue, but it's because it's so easy for it to be mutilated or misused by us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got the is video working better after you took the green screen off?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's always that, man.
Oh,
But
okay. You
whatever.
just had to be green for Slytherin, didn't you?
Right. Is that what their colors are? I thought it was red or something black. I don't know.
Uh, I have
I
to
know
think.
that's.
I think Slytherin's like it's a snake, so I think it's green and silver.
I wouldn't know. I don't know. No.
Yeah, it's been a
Hocus
while since I watched.
Hocus Pocus. I don't. I always want to say what they be saying, like, 'cause I like it. Like Hansel on Sally South. Like, I don't know what
Oh,
they say.
I don't even remember. It's like Avada Kedavra or something like that. It's
Well, that
like
was
all
pretty
these
good.
Latin words,
Right. Oh, that's
but
awesome.
it's. But I do think but like look at like Paul and Silas and Barnabas and uh Markle. I actually forgot what his name was. Like look at them. Like they could not have traveled as far as they did without ambition.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can channel ambition in a good way, like you can use it for like a purpose. You can use it for God, but when you use it for yourself, like if you use it for your own youth, if you forget where you came from, like that's always important. If you forget where you came from, like you can easily lose yourself. Like it is true that with Jesus, with New Testament, we're no longer bound by the law. We're no longer bound by tradition. But in the Old Testament, we have to remember, like, tradition and the law were important, not just because like God wanted us to like take care of ourselves, but because it taught us like where we came from. Like a lot of the law, a lot of the traditions was to remind people like they were slaves who were set free. It was to give thanks for that. And like the same thing with like any virtue, with like ambition especially, or like falling into temptations, or like indulging ourselves, is we forget where we came from and we only think about ourselves.
Yeah.
Like any virtue gets mutilated if we only use it for ourselves. It's like so limiting. And like we definitely live in a culture where it's all about me, me, me. Like that's the American dream. Like a lot of, man, so many international students come to the US because it's like you can make a name for yourself there, or it's like so much easier here because you can concentrate on yourself, you can concentrate on your ambitions. But man, I do feel like we're in an empire that's about to topple over.
Right.
Um, but yeah, what you were saying just made me think about what I was thinking about ambition this week. It's like like it's like a knife or a scalpel, like a scalpel. Like put it in the hands of a surgeon, he can like perform like amazing surgery. Put it in the hands of a killer, he'll mass murder. Like it's neutral. It just depends how you use it.
Right. And it's really hard, like the excitement of youth, man. That part is so powerful. Like,
That man, that is true.
like,
You have so much energy as a youth.
yeah, you have so much energy, and I want to say testosterone, and then I want to say like,
Probably.
what's no self control. That's what I want to say.
Oh yeah.
You know how I mean? Especially when you're really young.
But that's because there's like stuff in your brain that ratios between risk and reward.
Right.
Like when you're younger, you are more willing to go for a risk, higher risks if it has higher rewards.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get older, like you get more stable. You take less risks for like more minimal rewards. But yeah, man, when you're a teenager or when you're young, you're willing to go like big risk, big rewards for sure.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing that don't let the excitement of youth, man. Don't let the excitement of youth cost you to put yourself in a hole. Don't let the excitement of youth cost you to ruin good things that God has done and is doing and will do in your life. Because He can't do new things if you're not, He's not going to do anything new, and He's not going to take you to the next level. He's not going to, make you ruler of much and enlarge your territory, all those things, if you're not faithful with what He's already done and what He's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really, don't let the excitement of youth cause you to forget, where God has planted you, what God is doing in your life. Like, you have to really pay attention to that. It's not something that you just know since you're born. And if you think you are one of those people, let's put you to the test real quick. Like, did you know what your purpose was at 5? And did you know what you were born to do when you were a baby? Did you all come out automatically out the womb just talking and like you are today? Like, like you have to grow into it, right? And that's what the next part of verse 1 is talking about. Like, this verse is so powerful, man. So we're in Ecclesiastes 12, verse 1 through 4, right? This we're focusing on verse 1 right now. So it says, "Don't let the excitement of youth cause you to forget your Creator. Honor Him in your youth before you grow old, and say," this is what you'll say if you just live life for the thrill, right? Just live life to please yourself. Just live life I'm going to get what's mine, and I don't care who's affected, right? This is what happens to you. Honor God in your youth before you grow old, and say, life is not pleasant anymore. See, just like Justin was just saying, there's a risk and there's a reward in life. There's pros and cons in life. And also, let's put another layer on it. In life, you're going to have regrets. You're always going to have regrets. You can't get away from regrets. Me and Justin have done videos on that. And you're either going to have good regrets or bad regrets in life. This is an awful regret to have. So you got to count the cost. That's what Jesus said in the Bible. Jesus said, count the cost. Really calculate what every single decision is going to put you at in the future, right? So when you make any choice, life is filled with choices. It's filled with decisions. And you're a product of all where you are today is based on all the decisions and choices that led up to this point, this moment. And so where you will be in the future will be determined by the next choices and decisions you make today and tomorrow, right? And still yesterday. Because some decisions can ruin your life forever. Like if you murdered 1,200 people, oh, that's too many. But you get what I'm saying.
That's a lot.
If you just murdered two or one person, it can ruin your life because you'll be in prison for life, right? So like one decision can literally change the whole trajectory of everything. That's just with one decision. So like we have to really calculate what we're doing in our youth, and that's it's not even just youth. It's really just your time, right? Because everybody starts off young and starts off with time. Everybody has time on their hands. So what do you do with your time? And if you don't honor God with it, when you grow older, right? It's not even when you grow old. It's when you grow older. You're gonna figure out real quick, man, life is not pleasant to me anymore. Because you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna be put yourself in a situation you ain't never wanted to be in, you would have never chose to be in, and you would have never thought you could have ever been, right? You would never fathom you be in this situation, right? Which some of y'all are in. Actually, most people are in. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Because of one choice that you made in your youth, right? I know there's somebody right now. I wish I didn't marry that person. I should have really counted the cost, right? I wish I would have never had that child. Like I was not ready. See, don't let the excitement of you cause you to forget, your creator. God is not just God does stuff for a reason, right? He has you here for a reason. So you have to walk in His purpose. You have to walk in His ways, right? You have to really figure out what it is that what path God wants you to take. Because if you take a different path, which we're going to talk about with Psalm 1, if you take a path you want to take instead of what God wants you to take, you're going to say, at the end of the day, eventually, it's either here on the earth. I venture to say most people say it on the earth, but everybody's going to say it either in heaven or hell. But I'm mainly talking about people in hell. Like, it's going to be awful. Like, that's my worst nightmare, Justin. Like, if I didn't live for God, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, if I went to hell, I'll be one of those people that say life is not pleasant anymore. Like, like this is what it led to: hell, punishment, destruction, like ruin, and then perishing. Like, not just for a season, not just temporarily, no, for eternity. Like, but even in life, that could happen, right? You could perish in life on a daily basis just because of the choices you made, right? I know some people are perishing right now just from being in debt from credit cards. Like, well, why would you even spend money on a credit card? But nobody taught you that, right? So now life's not pleasant anymore, right? You didn't go to school. You figured out later on, or you majored in the wrong major in college, right? You partied and lived it up. And then what happened? You graduated. Now you're working at McDonald's and Walmart or places like that. Because let me put you guys on game real quick. If you're in college, on average, the people who graduate from college, like the average salary is $40,000. $40,000. Like that means you work at Walmart, Burger King, Target, pub, like places like that, right? So that means like, are you utilizing your major? That's a no. You're not utilizing major. You could have just knocked out of college for that. So now you're saying to yourself, life's not pleasant anymore. So this is what I'm saying. Like in life, if you're really, and I'm about that life. I'm Justin. I want to see if you agree, man. But like, if you're really doing what God wants you to do, I don't think you're going to be in a situation where you're going to say life is not pleasant to me anymore, because you're going to be exactly where God wants you to be at, and in places God wants you to be in. And you're going to be married and be around the people that God wants you to specifically be with and be around, right? But there's a cost for not doing things God's way, and the cost is life's not pleasant. Life's not going to be pleasant for you anymore. Like that, that part. Don't forget that part anymore. Like it could never get better. Like I mean, it could, because God is a God of second chances. Like every single day is a second chance. But you can put yourself in a hole where you don't get no second chances too, right? So yeah, go ahead, Justin. Man, first one is so good, man.
I was thinking too, like I'm reading through the book of Job with my wife right now too. And I will say there are some instances too where it's like you can follow God, but things are still terrible. And man, that's pretty much like the entirety of Job and Ecclesiastes. It's just talking about how like terrible life is.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, like, sometimes even following God can be a struggle. And it's not because God is an unjust or unfair God. It's just because we do live in a broken world where, like, we can't fathom God's justice. We can't fathom like the plan that God has. And because of that, there are going to be areas in our life where we just suffer or we're going to struggle. The problem is we live in a culture now where instead of looking for like what's good for us in the long run, or what will like save our eternal soul, and help us finish the marathon, we are like a microwave. We're in a microwave culture where we have to have something now. We just set it for 30 seconds and get results instantly. So when life gets tough, like we always fall into that temptation of making it easier for ourselves. And that can be seen through like divorces. If things get too hard, then we divorce instead of seeking like the healing power of God. Like obviously the healing power of God is going to take time because it's a process. But divorces, you can just cut out the problem right away, supposedly, but then you're suffering like the trust issues or the financial difficulties of a divorce. Like that's a short-term solution with long-term problems right there. Or like abortions as well. And I'm not trying, like, the like the abortion would be like an easy way out. Or but you have those long-term consequences of like your body's never going to be the same. You have that emotional detachment that they're finding out that women have when they have abortions, or your emotions become calloused in order to survive something like that, instead of again like the healing power of God.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know. That's what Ecclesiastes is trying to warn against. Is like things may seem great for a short while, but we have to remember there are long-term consequences that, as Sean said, we can't run away from. But God's way, although it's like sometimes we'll struggle. Like look at Joseph, who's stuck in jail for 2 years, or the people who escaped from Egypt who were in the desert for 40 years. Like they were also not in a good place, but they had the power of God with them. They were able to get through their situations because God was on their side. And that's the long-term solution that Solomon's trying to say is like once you get old, you can like look back and say, I remember my creator. I remember the God who was with me through all of these things, instead of reaching the end of your life and just being miserable. Like no one reaches the end of their life and think, man, I really wish I spent more time in the office. No, it's like they always wish they spent time with like family and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like we always have, obviously I don't, if you're young, like I don't want you to like give up your energy or give up your ambition. We just want you to like figure out where is that being directed to. Like don't direct it towards selfish things that have like long-term consequences.
You know what? I should have titled the video, "Don't Let Your Future You Hate You." You seen
Oh,
that commercial?
that that's a good title, man. I wish we had come up with that.
Yeah, we missed out on that one. See, that's why we should just talk out the videos like this, and then.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's too good. I don't want to talk it out like that, and then the video is dull. It's not hitting nothing like we were hitting. But like, yeah, guys, like there's a commercial. I don't know who it is. It's the old people commercial, and the whole slogan is like, "Don't let your future you hate you." And like, in life is so short. Justin, you were saying that at the very beginning of the video. Like, life is like a vapor. Like
Yeah.
it goes by like this. It's a vapor. How long
Mhm.
does it take for a vapor to vanish? Right? Or smoke even. So like, yeah, like the Bible is literally a guideline. It's a map. It's a roadmap to like true satisfaction, to true happiness, to true contentment, to true life, and life more abundantly. Like this is what Jesus and God promises us. So like they're just trying to make sure that we don't waste any moment in life. And so like Solomon, he was the wisest man to ever live. Like Justin gave like a little setting at the very beginning of the video. And so like, yeah, Justin, we should talk about the book of Ecclesiastes just real quick. Like, what is the book of Ecclesiastes? So like Solomon wrote, just like he said, Solomon wrote the book of Ecclesiastes, and maybe some other translators wrote it too and stuff like that. But with Solomon, he's the wisest man that ever lived. That's what the Bible says about him. And then also, you know, okay, I'll just say that. So he's the wisest man to ever live. So the knowledge that he has, the wisdom that he has, and he writes down is to help us, right, in life, so that we don't live with the same regrets. Because even though he was wise, he still had regrets in life. Even though he was wise, that didn't stop him from making decisions and messing things up, right? Even he had probably more regrets than we ever had, because he said in the book of Ecclesiastes, like, I done everything, I tried it all, and it's all vanity. And like Justin said, he said everything's meaningless. After everything he wrote in the book of Ecclesiastes, he said everything's meaningless. Like the only thing that really matters is making sure you please God, because in the long run, pleasing God is going to please your family, it's going to please your children, it's going to please yourself, it's going to please everybody. And you'll still have regrets. You'll still say, you know, I should have did that, I shouldn't have done that. But at the end of the day, God gets the glory. So that's the story, right? Like, and not just that, like you will be proud of it because you would have been walking on the path and and making the decisions that God has wanted you to make. So the book of Proverbs, for example, me and Justin have done a lot of videos on different Proverbs verses and stuff. And so a proverb is a general statement that's true regarding the way life works, regarding the way things happen in the world. So the book of Proverbs, so every single verse in the book of Proverbs is an observation made so that we can draw lessons and observations from those observations, right? So like that's what the book of Ecclesiastes is as well. It's written by the wisest man to ever live. And so with this one, like we just read verse 1, and Justin, did you have anything for verse 2 and 3? Because I kind of just want to go to verse 4. But if you had something you want to say with those, you can go ahead. And then, yeah, what is the book of Ecclesiastes and stuff, by the way? Like, if you want to go there, like,
yeah, I mean, you were saying like what the book of Ecclesiastes is?
yeah, like to you, and like especially like with in light of these verses that we're on and stuff, you know.
For me, it's not a sugar-coated description of who God is. It's like someone who's very real, someone who has experienced all things in life, and he's just trying to figure out, like, who is God? Is he a just God? Is he a fair God? And how does he apply to my life? Like, for me, it's like, it's not a like Sunday school answer to like who God is, but it's like, I don't know, it sounds like it's from someone who's experienced life. And I really appreciate that.
You have anything for verse 2 and 3 you want to talk about, or you want to skip to verse 4?
Let me see. Sorry, I did skip I'll read it real fast. I did skip to 4 earlier.
Oh, okay. We can go to 4.
Skip to 4 if you're good.
Yeah, we'll do another video on 2 and 3. I mean, I'll read it, and then if we have anything on it, we'll.
I mean, they're cool. Yeah, they're cool verses. I like the poetic nature of them.
Yeah, but like me and Justin intended just to focus on verse 1 and 4. That's what sticks out to us the most. All right, so with Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verses 1 through 4, I'm gonna read it over again. So don't let the excitement of youth cause you to forget your Creator. Honor Him in your youth before you grow old and say life is not pleasant anymore. Verse 2, remember Him before the light of the sun, moon, stars is dim to your old eyes, and rain clouds continually darken your sky. Oh, that is so sad, man. All right. I'm gonna put you guys on game real quick. All right. I wasn't gonna do verse 2, but let's go ahead. We're right here.
Yeah.
Justin, this is another video, by the way. All right. Like, I'm giving you my hand. So one of my favorite scripture verses I've ever read is this one. So I just told you what a proverb is, right? Proverbs is a general statement made about regarding the way life works. It's an observation made so that we can draw from those observations lessons to apply to our life so that we take the right path in life. So one of my favorite scripture verses of all time, I remember reading this from the Contemporary English Version Bible, but I'm reading from the New International Standard Version. It's Proverbs chapter 4, verses 18 through 19, right? So this is what Proverbs 4, 18 through 19 says. And it ties in with what we're going to do with 1 John as well, like walking in the light, right? So Proverbs 4, verse 18 says, the path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. Verse 19, but the way of the wicked is like the darkest gloom. It's like deep darkness. They do not know what causes them to stumble. You guys hear that? That goes with the verse we just read. All right, I'm gonna read this one again. So it says, remember God before the light of the sun, moon, and stars is dim to your old sky. Right? So Jesus said in John 9:4, I did this with my trial sermon. So a trial sermon is your first sermon you ever preach as a pastor. You go to my YouTube channel, I have a playlist titled My Sermon. So for my trial sermon, my message was don't waste your dash. And I was talking about the dash in between, your birthday and the day you die. Your dash is your life, right? So don't waste your dash. And Jesus said in John 9:4, he says, as long as it is day, we must do the work of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one can work, right? So there's coming a time, Jesus, the whole point with saying that is, darkness is coming. A time is coming where you're not able to work. A time is coming where the people around you are going to die. A time is coming when you're going to die. You're not going to be around your people anymore, right? And you're not going to be able to love them and give them lessons and serve them in the way that you should have served them when you were here and the light was shining and the sun was shining and the stars were shining and your life was going on, right? Life is happening right now before your eyes. So what are you doing when life is in your face, happening right now? Are you wasting it on yourself, on your pleasures, on what you want to do? So as long as it is day, Jesus said, we must do the work of him who sent me, him who sent us. Who sent us? God sent us. God gave you this life. So are you living and doing what he wants you to do? Because if you are, you're not going, when darkness comes, you'll be ready. Because there's coming a time where no man can work. Jesus is the, that's a debatable thing to say. But what Jesus did on earth and how he died on the cross for us, like that's over with. He can't die on the cross again. I mean, he could, but he doesn't need to. So he only had for that season 33 years on earth, right? That's what he had, right? Same thing goes for us. How long are you going to be here? How much more life do you have to live before your death day? When is your death day? Are you ready for it? Because remember God before the light of the sun, the moon, and the stars is dim to your old eyes. See, as you get older, your eyes get dimmer. As you get older, you lose more sight. Like you're not going to have the same functions no more as you had when you were a youth. So remember God before you get closer and closer before the light and the curtains close. That's what it's saying. Remember God before the curtain closes. Remember God before the end of the script, of which is your life, right? And it says, and rain clouds continually darkening your sky. Darkness is coming, man. Night is coming where no man can work, right? So in saying that, man, like when we die, it's dark. We're sleeping, right? You're not gonna be able to wake up. so that's what this verse is talking about, right? Yeah, verse 2 is so good, man. I just came up with that, honestly, Justin. Like, did you have anything with 2 or you want me to keep going?
Yeah, I do like how it's basically representing like periods in our life. Like some parts of our life are going to shine, some parts in our life are going to be shadowed. And it makes me think of like one of my favorite verses in Ecclesiastes 3. And it's basically saying there's a time for everything, like a season for every activity under the heavens. And it says like a time to be born, a time to die, a time to kill, a time to heal, like a time to weep, a time to laugh. Like I'm just paraphrasing now. Yeah. But it's like the verse 2 is basically saying like you're going to have like different times, different days in your life. Some of them are going to be sunny, some of them are going to be overcast. But like in all those days, like we need to prepare ourselves as well. Like on the sunny days, we need to prepare for when it rains. Like we can't wait for the rainy days to like suddenly pack up and like run inside. No, we have to like be ready for all of those. And like when dark times hit, we have to prepare ourselves while it's lit. Like when the world is turning against us or when we hit hard times, we need to prepare ourselves with God by our side, so that we aren't blindsided. And I think, I don't know, I do like verse 2 here just because it relates to one of my favorite verses in chapter 3, where there's just a time for everything. And especially like in our youth, like it sounds counterintuitive, but like we use our time in our youth to prepare for getting old or to prepare for eternity.
There's some good stuff in here.
Mm.
Let's see what we got. Verse 3, man. All right, so verse 3, Ecclesiastes 12. Remember him before your legs, the guards of your house, start to tremble, and before your shoulders, the strong men stoop. Remember him before your teeth, your few remaining servants stop grinding. Before your eyes, the women looking through the windows see dimly. All right, so I'm gonna go to verse 4. Unless Justin, you got something for verse 3. I don't really.
No, I feel like 3 and 4 kind of tie together.
Yeah. All right. So verse 4. Remember him before the door to life's opportunity is closed and the sound of work fades. Now you rise at the first chirping of the birds, but then all their sounds will grow faint. So that last part is so good. That ties in what we were saying. As you get older, you're not gonna be able to walk like you used to. So that's verse 3. Your legs are gonna start trembling, right? So your legs, right? And then it says your eyes are gonna grow dim. So like everything's gonna become darker. Like you're getting closer to just seeing pitch darkness. So that was verse 2. So verse 4 is saying now you rise at the first chirping of the birds. So you can hear the birds chirping, but your ears are starting to become deaf. So they're starting to grow faint. Like that sound ain't as loud as it used to be. As a matter of fact, you may not even hear it no more because you're deaf. So you need a hearing aid, like some people, right? So we need to remember God, right? Verse 4, before the doors to life's opportunities. All right. I want you guys to get that. Before the doors of life opportunity is closed. Oh my goodness. And the sound of work fades. The sound of work fades. All right. So I say this all the time on my YouTube channel, but we can't waste our youth. So the excitement of youth has to be we can't waste the excitement of youth. I want to stop there and say that. But then I also want to say we have to make sure that we point the excitement of youth in the right direction. And we really don't waste it while we have it, because you're not going to have it forever. And I say that all the time on our YouTube channel when it comes to sports. Like, this is why I love sports so much. Basketball's my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. I keep it so fresh on the microphone. All right. But like, I love basketball, man. Kobe Bryant's my favorite basketball player of all time. But what I learned from sports is like, you only have so long to play basketball. You only have so long to play football. Like, you're not going to be. Football and basketball are young man's games. You don't see a 60-year-old in the NBA. Their bodies could not handle a young man's body, pounding them, hitting on them, all those things. The grind, the toil, like 82 games, a whole year worth. Like, you're playing a whole year. Like, they can't take that. It's too much, right? So, like, you have to do it while you can, right? So I tell kids all the time, like, if you're playing basketball in high school right now or in middle school, you better utilize it while you got it, because like, you're not gonna be able to play forever. Even if you make it to the NBA, even if you make it to the NFL, like, you probably play till you're 30, you probably play till you're 36. But what if you live to be 95? Like, that stint of playing sports is really, it's a small window, right? And that's what verse 4 says. Verse 4 says, remember God before the window of opportunity closes, right? Before the moment closes. So you only have so long to be young. You only have so long to be a CEO. You only have so long to be a software developer. You only have so long to work for money. Because how many old people do you know don't work for money at all because they can't? Because they're disabled or something. Because they're not able to work. Right? So you have to utilize this moment while you have it, because the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. And to those who are faithful with little, much more will be given to them. But to those who are not faithful with little, even what little they have will be taken away from them. But when you get older, you just lose things. It's just inevitable. You can't hold on to everything. Life is all about losing, right? You can't hold on to everything in life. You won't be able to take everything you got in life with you to the grave. Matter of fact, you can't take anything, right? So you got to learn how to let go of things in life. You have to master it. That's what we should try to be on too, Justin. Letting go of things. Whatever I just said right there. Like the mastering of letting go, something like that.
Oh
right?
yeah, that'd be
Right.
and that'd be a good title too.
Yeah, so you can't hold. You gotta learn how not to hold on to things. You gotta learn how to hold on to things loosely in this life, because not everything, actually, nothing in life was meant to be hold on to begin with. But what is meant to be hold on to are things that's going to last for eternity. What is to be meant to hold on to are the things that echo throughout all eternity and will affect other people's lives, impact other people's lives, and God will be seen through it. You guys get what I'm saying? So, like, for example, like showing your kids love, introducing them to Christ, that leads to like that makes you live forever. So that's the good thing. See, me and Justin, we're about to have kids, right? Both of our wives are pregnant.
Yeah.
So the good thing about it is, for me, Justin, is like once Maya has a baby, if I die or something and I have 6 kids, like they could live for me. I can't live forever, but my kids can live for me even after I die because at least a piece of me is still here. So I need to train them up and pass the baton to them, just like in track. I run and ride my race, right? But I'm training my kids and showing them how to run their race, not mine. So that when I pass them the baton, when I pass on, they can run and not grow faint, not grow tired, can run with endurance, can run as best as they possibly can because I've given them all the tools that they need to have success in this life and to prosper, right? I've given them Christ. And Jesus is all they need to have success, right? So, like, that's my job as a father, right? As a husband, right? To pass that baton. Because remember God before the door to life's opportunity is closed. The door is gonna close. Everybody faces death. Nobody is at the top forever. Michael Jordan even could not play forever. And will he always be number one? Will somebody take that throne from him? Because what's funny is like what's in the now and what's happening right now is always bigger than the past to us because we don't know the people from our past. You know what I'm saying? So like, even Billy Graham, who knows Billy Graham in the day's time period? Like to us, he's off the chain, but to somebody else, like a kid, he ain't that bad. Like he's just another preacher like John Edwards or somebody, even Jonathan Edwards. Me and Justin talked about that before. Like some Beyonce is hot right now, right? Kanye West even is hot right now. Like, but when 200, 400 years pass by, 1,000 years even, especially, it don't even take that long. Like, they're just gonna be another name. Like their name ain't gonna be that great. The only name that's that great is Jesus. But like man's name fades over time, right? So you have to utilize your life, your opportunity while you're here right now. Because like this is when it's most effective. It's not as effective when you die, right? Unless you just live that greatly. But even then, it still fades because you're not Jesus, you're not God. Only His name echoes like that. You see what I'm saying? Just man, go ahead, man. I'm talking forever, man. But it's just so much.
No, you're good. And that's like I guess like man, I guess let's talk kids since you brought it up too, since we're both gonna be dads pretty soon.
Right.
But it's like yeah, you have to think about like what legacy you want to leave behind. Like since you were talking musicians, like I remember like the Beatles said they're bigger than Jesus. Like years ago. Yeah, they were in an interview. Lots of people got mad about that. I forgot which one said it. But it's like, yeah, they were amazing. Like I love the Beatles songs. But man, look at like the problems they had and the breakup they had, and it wasn't like pretty. And now I think only like one Beatle is left right now, right? Or is Paul McCartney? Anyway. But it's like you have to think about what legacy you want to leave behind too. Like, yeah, all those basketball players and like musicians, they're like they're treated as like the epitome of society. We've talked about this before. Celebrities are big in our minds, but like, is their name going to like last? Like, they're all going to go to the same place that we do. They're going to go to the ground. Like, we're all going to become just dust in the wind. So we have to remember, like, what kind of legacy do we want to leave behind? Like a legacy that we can't even use after we pass away, or a legacy that's attached to a kingdom that's going to like last forever.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah. It's man, I just think a lot about it though, because like with my daughter coming soon, like I always think like, what do I want to bestow to her as well? and I want to have a good balance because I don't want to live vicariously through her. Like, um, I don't know what's that show, Dance Moms, where it's like the moms are just trying to like puff up their kids so that they do well, so then the moms look good or something. I don't know. I hate that show, but it's like you want to give them enough of their own life, their own autonomy to like make their choices, but you want to like create a good foundation for them. You want a foundation that's eternal for them. And then they find their place from there. Because again, whatever gift my daughter has, or whatever gift like Sean's kid has, like I'm sure it'll be an amazing gift. I'm sure like God's going to give them something that not a lot of people can do. But like that doesn't even matter depending on like how they use it. Like if they use it for their own selfish reasons, they'll like it'll like it'll shine for maybe like a few years and then like fizzle out afterwards, and it's like that was just a part of their life, that was something that was fun, and then it's over. Or they could use it for something that's going to last forever, and like I really hope it's the second one.
Yeah.
But it's I guess that's what I want to bestow, is like not necessarily like a piece of me and them. I want them to like, I want to bestow on them the same foundation God gave me. I want to give to my kid too, so that way it lives forever, and then it can be passed down to their kids and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so much, man. Like, yeah, I'm gonna read that verse again, and then we're done. And Justin, you got something else? You can go ahead and say it. So,
oh, that's a good place.
yeah, so Ecclesiastes 12 verse 4. We're ending the video. We did a video on Ecclesiastes 12 verses 1 through 4, and we titled the video "Don't Waste Your Youth." And honestly, like, don't waste your life. Like, life is so temporary. It's so short. It's fading away. And every single day is fading away. And that's what verse 4, that's what all these verses is talking about with Ecclesiastes 12, 1 through 4. But especially this part with verse 4. It says, remember God before the door to life's opportunity is closed, and the sound of work fades. Life is fading away. Just like Jesus said in John 4, 9:4, what I read earlier, like, a day is coming when no one can work, right? At daytime, everybody can work and plow. But at nighttime's coming. In that time, you're not going to be able to work. You're not going to be able to do anything. So the work that Jesus is talking about is God's work. Like, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. So are you working for God, or are you working for yourself? Because like, working for God, it takes work. It's not easy. And honestly, when you're working for God in your life, your family is your first ministry, right? And doing that work is the hardest work ever. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, being the husband that my wife needs, like, that's the most important work. But honestly, that work could be put on the back burner if I put my ministry ahead of that, which I should never do that, right? But it's easy to do because I'm familiar with her, I'm comfortable with her, but that's what God gave me, right? And so that's the whole point with verse 1. Verse 1 said, don't let the excitement of youth cause you to forget your creator, right? So don't let the excitement of youth cause you to miss life's opportunities that are right in front of you, to love the person that you should have loved, to like be the man you should have been, to be in the places you should have been at when you had the opportunity, right? And that's in so many levels, so many ways. And the sound of work is fading. As you get older, it's fading. Your knees will start to tremble. Your legs will start to tremble. Your shoulders will start to, go down and low as you get older. It's either that or the curtains close and it's pitch darkness and you die. But either way it goes, it's fading away. So the question is, what are you gonna do with this moment? You got one shining moment, like the song. It's a song, one shining moment. Like, it was on college basketball. It was a college basketball game, one shining moment. Do you know that song? Like, it's
I
probably
think so.
okay. It's a weird. It's nothing catchy. But it's catchy, but it's a stupid song. But like, it goes with college basketball, so like, it's
Okay.
nostalgia behind it. That's the word I want to use. So like, but yeah, you guys get it, man. Like, don't waste your youth, man. Don't waste this moment. You only And that's why I want to say what verse 4 too. I want to really say that. It says, remember God before the door, the light of opportunity is closed. Like in life, you have closed doors and you have open doors. And then in life, you have opportunities. And one of my favorite quotes I had on my wall. See, now I got my own place. I'm about to have quotes and Bible verses everywhere. It's about to be lit.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
So, right. Especially like for YouTube videos, all y'all always see it quotes and Bible verses behind me. All right. So like one of the quotes I had in my apartment when I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina for 2 years was this. It said, uh, don't waste opportunities, something like that. Because opportunities, how did it say it? I want to say it exactly how it said it, but opportunities must be seized in a lifetime of opportunity. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna say it. All right, so opportunities must be seized in the lifetime of an opportunity because opportunities don't last for a lifetime. So you have to seize it in a lifetime of an opportunity. So just like trouble don't last always, opportunities don't last either, right? So opportunities don't last. You have to seize it in the moment while it's here. Otherwise, you're not going to get either the opportunity is never going to come back again, or it's going to come back again, and you may miss it again. But like, there's so many opportunities just from in your youth that you had, and you can't take advantage of them anymore. Like you could have dated that person. That person could have been your wife or husband, but you ruined it by not asking, by not trying. I think about that all the time. I mean, I'm with the purple woman right now, but you get what I'm saying. Like, and then also like, even with basketball and football, like I had the opportunity to play, but I didn't utilize the opportunity when I had it in high school. That's why I tell young people all the time, like, there's an excitement going on in your youth, but don't let the excitement cause you to like miss out on the opportunities that are right in front of you because the door will close. And when it's closed, are you going to be satisfied with, what you did with the opportunity? Because in life, you're going to have a good regrets, you're going to have bad regrets. And like, I mean, Justin, let's just throw them something at the end of this video, like a little nugget. So like, what's the opportunity that you utilized in your life? And the door closed, but you utilized it so much that you're okay that with that door being closed. Because you did exactly what God wanted you to do. And the door's closed, the curtain's closed, you learn what you needed to learn through that moment. Because God did what he wanted to do. Right. So now the door's closed because you utilized it. And for me, it's track. Like I didn't want to do track my senior year, and I got saved Saturday, September 4th, 2010, so my senior year. And God, he told me to run track again, and I didn't want to do anything worldly. I just wanted to spend time with him, stay in the word, and figure out my purpose in life. And I knew I was called to preach. I just wanted to get ready for it, right? And that's all I've been doing since I was 17. I'm 31 now. I'm still not a preacher. And so, yeah, like with track, I ran track my senior year of high school again. I started my sophomore year of high school, and I ended my sophomore year of college, so my second year in college. And I wanted to stop my freshman year too of college because I hated it. It was like being a slave. I hate running. Running's my pet peeve. I hate it, right? And God told me to run track because I had to make the track my sanctuary, right? I had to make it. I had to depend on God so much because I hated it so much because God wanted to teach me in life just how much I have to depend on him with my race in this life, right? I need to make life my sanctuary. No, I need to make life a sanctuary, a temple, an altar where I can worship him constantly and depend on him, just like I had to do with running track every single day, right? And so the window of opportunity, I had to run track again my sophomore year of high school. I'm in college reluctantly, like I did not want to do it. But literally, it was way better than the first year because I learned the lesson that God wanted me to learn, which was it's like, stop complaining, stop whining. Like there's so many lessons. I could name a gazillion. But like the second year was way better, right? And now, and I still remember my coach Cheese, like my coach in college. She said, Sean, first of all, my first year I didn't run on scholarship, and everybody was amazed because I always placed in meets in first place on the high jump, and then that's all you need to know. Second year, I always came in second place because I had a David on the track team that beat me every single track meet. But my very last track meet, I beat him because I told him when it hurts him the most, God's gonna bless me with beating you. Which that needs to be a video because he told me he was bragging in my face, saying like, Sean, why are you telling me what to do? Why are you saying anything to me? I was just trying to help him. And I humbled him. I said, when it hurts you the most, God's gonna bless me with beating you. It was my very last track meet. And that's what happened my second year of track. Like God was just, he wanted people to see certain things of like how a Christian is supposed to operate, how a Christian walks and stuff like that, like with the track team. So it's just me being a face to it. And long story short, Coach Cheese wanted me to run track my third year of college, and she offered me a full ride, which was $14,000. And I had to tell her, like, it's done. The curtain's closed. Like God, he said I don't have to do it again. And even if I did do it again, I don't have it in me to do it again because God is done with it. Right? So I would be doing it on my own will at that point, and I don't have it in me. Like I can only do it if He strengthened and gave and equipped and told me to do it, and gave me the power to do it. So like I'm good with track. I will never run track again. I have no desire to run track again. So yeah, we should have started off with that. But
no, that's a good one. I like because that's something my sister said too.
yeah.
Is she has 2 kids. It's funny because she and my brother are on opposite sides of the spectrum on having kids. My brother wonders why you would waste money on like someone other than yourself.
Oh my
My
goodness.
sister loves her kids, but she was saying like she had a good counter argument of like people who say like, oh, why do you want to like have kids and like not be able to like have much freedom or money anymore? And she was saying like, yeah, some opportunities and doors close when you become a parent, but so many others open up as well. And I think we have to appreciate, yeah, it's like we're going to lose opportunities and hopefully you took advantage of them like Sean was saying. But if you don't, like be on the lookout for more opportunities too. Like if you do not put yourself out there, like you're going to miss some opportunities. If you're lamenting about the opportunities you missed in your youth, like you're just going to have like regret and miss out on the ones that you can have.
Dang. Good stuff right there.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what a video.
Yeah. That's good. Would you say this is a 100th video worthy?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, guys, this is our 100th video.
This is just a video telling you that Sean and I are getting old. Right. Don't waste your youth like us.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully, my biggest thing is like, you may have wasted your youth, but don't waste your 30s, don't waste your 20s, don't waste your 40s.
Oh yeah, there's still plenty to do for sure.
So that's what me and Justin are right now. But guys, you know the drill. Like me and Justin, we're streaming live on our social media platforms right now. So let me show you my platforms, and I'm gonna show you Justin. But let me start with Justin. So I always do mine first. So here goes Justin's YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is Chaplain's Love. So make sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel, and after you subscribe, click the bell. That means you're turning on a post notification, right? So you're notified anytime he uploads another video. And make sure when you watch, make sure to watch every single video, please. Right? And then like and comment. If you do not like and comment, you are doing us a disservice. We need you to do that, please. And then share the videos. Tell other people about our social media platforms. So that's Justin's YouTube channel. And this is his Facebook page, Justin Lee Howell. So make sure to send him a DM or send me a DM on my Facebook page, Sean Christopher Jenkins. And if you got any questions, just send us a DM on our Facebook pages and we'll get back to you. But we'll do a video on the question that you asked so we can really talk out your question thoroughly, and you get like 1,000 answers for your one question. So on my YouTube channel is Uplift past Crossroads. I'm also on every podcast platform. So let me pull up all my social media platforms. So here they are right here. So I'm on every podcast platform you can think of: Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Chromecast, you name it, Anchor. So yeah, check me out on Uplift past Crossroads, right? And then my Facebook and LinkedIn is Sean Christopher Jenkins. My Twitter or my X page, Snap, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Trouble Don't Last. My other Instagram page, my_Daily_Bible, and my Tumblr page, Trouble Don't Last #1. So just Trouble Don't Last. Just think about that, all right? And then for this video specifically, we talked about a lot. So on my YouTube channel, like I said, I have a whole lot of playlists. So one of the playlists, check out my playlist with Justin, right? So this was our 100th video. You got a 99 more videos to watch. We're about to do 101. So like, yeah, check that out. Me and Justin's videos are awesome. You can learn a lot from them and you will get closer to God, trust me. And so me and Justin have done videos on the book of Proverbs, right? So check out that playlist. We've done videos on the book of Ecclesiastes 12. So check that out if you want to get more more lessons and learn more about just what Ecclesiastes 12 is talking about. And then just the book of Ecclesiastes in general, I have a playlist on that as well. So you can listen to all the sermons, Bible studies, and messages me and Justin talked about with that. And then, like I said, if you go to this playlist, my sermons, you'll see that I talked about this a lot through my sermons that I preach, but mainly this one right here. You know, don't waste your dash. That was my trial sermon right there. So my first ever sermon I preached. And yeah, I was talking about the same thing that we talked about for today's video. So yeah, that's our 100th video, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. All right, but you guys have a good one. I'm gonna teach you guys with another one. All right, peace.
Stay blessed.